big protest for Russia, especially like during these pandemic times when like police is so rude to the people. So a lot of people are against this war, even though there is terrible propaganda and they lie to people, brainwashing them.
Yeah, and of course people are affected, but I would say that right now people are mostly affected in the major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, because people in those cities, they use Netflix, okay, they use Apple Pay, but Russia is very big. There are a lot of regions, and people in those regions, they do not understand those sanctions and this like short-term effects right now. But of course it will affect them, but it will happen long-term, and people they're not digested this information, and like they don't understand the situation right now.
Well, look, thank you so much for rising up, because there are lots of great Russians, as you say, and I think it's very, very important that we talk about folk like you putting your lives, your careers on the line, and congratulations on the wedding too, even though it wasn't in the greatest circumstances. That was Arshak Meshikian and Polina Olenikova. Let me bring in my superstar panel now. The Daily Mail star columnist and broadcaster Amanda Platel.
Oh, Dad, can I take this coat off?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I got here so late, they just bundled me in. I don't even know if I'm mic'd up.
I'm very worried to see what I'm about to see.
Thank God.
It's your Zelensky. Your Zelensky outfit.
I think we should all be showing solidarity.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Well, we know we're Amanda Sands. We've got Adam Brooks here too. Of course, he is the social media campaigner. And very Zelensky-like, and political editor of the Sunday Mirror, Nigel Nelson too. So Amanda, we know where you stand on this. And you're a fan.
That's not the first time a man's face has been between them.
Oh, goodness gracious me. It's only 9:24, for goodness sake.
Build the woodshed.
It's the first time a hero has been on my bosom.
Well, I mean, all I'm going to say, Amanda, is I'm glad that you've moved on from your crush on Putin.
Oh, stop. I'm so ashamed of that. I wish you hadn't raised that. I mean, it was just, I'm really ashamed of that.
In all seriousness, though, tell me why you respect Zelensky so much, because you know there are people out there who say he's a corrupt politician too, and he's a puppet for the West.
It's just complete rubbish. All you have to do is witness the bravery of this man. That when you were interviewing the MP, the
former spokesman,
MP,
yeah.
And you pointed out that very important point. I think that he's actually got mock backgrounds behind him to try and disguise where he actually is, but he's out there. He's speaking. They can track where he's speaking from. You know, the Russians can actually use the satellite system. And that brilliant quote where when you asked him, and he said, it's not a question of his safety, but of our country's safety. I mean, he is just incredible. We've not seen a leader like this with such courage. He's got a young family. He's refused to take the flight out that Biden offered him. And there's just something, you know, it's not just the tragedy of this war in Ukraine. It's also the fact that with all due apologies to the men here, we women in the West have kind of longed for men who had real courage.
It's almost like a movie.
I know what you're trying to say. Well, exactly. And Adam, the point is, we believe him. We believe that he is prepared to die for his country, because let's be honest, he could die tonight. He could die at any time. Putin has hundreds of people in Kiev now, including from the Wagner Group, which is just a group of absolute killing machine brutes, and they are there to try and take him down. So we believe that his life is on the line. Yeah. Or do you? Not everyone does.
Of course, he's the head of a state that's occupied. So, you know, the danger is obviously there. And as I just said, it's like watching a movie in real time, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Does that oversimplify things though, Nigel? Because some people are very concerned about the media narrative of good versus evil, or do you think it's as simple as that?
It is good versus evil. I was in the House of Commons yesterday watching him make his address to MPs. I've been there 30-odd years. I've never seen a politician captivate the audience in the way that he did. He made an absolutely stunning speech. And there's no question about his bravery. He could have left. He didn't. He stayed put. He's proved himself to be a real statesman. I mean, not bad given his background as a comedian or whatever. He actually has come out as a statesman. And yes, I mean, it is a good versus evil, that none of us are neutral in this. And I'm just surprised that there are still people in this country who think the whole thing's a put-up job.
Do you think there are people in this country, not here? You mean Russia?
No, there are people here. There are lots of people here as well. I mean, look, Amanda, at the end of the day, though, we're not giving Zelensky right now what he wants. We're not giving him the no-fly zone.
I know, it's because we can't, and we all understand the nuance.
He knows that as well,
But we are
he says he doesn't understand it. I understand it. I don't want a no-fly zone.
He's also a master media manipulator. So he's putting so much pressure on us. And then what do we do today? The Defense Secretary says, we're going to send you some super fantastic...
Some javelins and stuff like that, some missiles.
So we're not going to close the airspace,
but we're going to try and help you protect
air missiles.
The key thing here is that he thinks World War III has already broken out.
And we don't.
We don't, and we want to stop it.
Yeah.
The important thing is the kind of defensive equipment we give to the Ukrainians mustn't be the kind of stuff that could actually reach Moscow. So in other words, the MiG-29s that Poland was talking about sending over, that could cross a red line and we could be into nuclear war.
Nigel Nelson, Adam Brooks, Amanda Platel and her Zelensky designer T-shirt. They're here all night. Coming up, though, was Nicola Sturgeon's apology to witches, bizarre virtue signalling, or long overdue contrition. 2 witches. I guess we've got 3 on the show tonight, given Amanda's here too. And a broadcasting wizard in the form of Christine Hamilton. Debate that in the Clash at 9:20. But I want to know what you think. Dan at gbnews.uk, or tweet us using the handle at gbnews. But first, Putin's senseless aggression calls for strong, confident leaders. But is sleepy Joe Biden really mentally capable of handling the crisis? US superstar journalist Megyn Kelly gives her expert analysis on a US president asleep at the wheel next.
Hello again, I'm Aidan McGill.